Hey y'all, this is Camille with Rig on Wheels. I do need you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Definitely share. As you know, I'm a recruiter, and I'm a national recruiter because I recruit for over 50 companies. So I have something just about in every state all the time. So whether we talking about local, regional, dedicated, long haul, short haul, regular over the road, whatever it is, got it. However, I get certain questions sometimes, whether it be in the CDL group or whether you go directly to Rig on Wheels website, or you calling me or you texting me. One of the major questions is, where would I recommend you getting your CDL from? So let's start. It depends on what your needs are. And your needs need to be more than just obtaining your CDL. So what I mean by that is, what are your financial needs? Do you have the funds to go out there and immediately pay for CDL school? Okay, are you in a state where you don't need a CDL school in order to get your license? So it needs to be based on your needs, your actual needs. Okay, we know that your ultimate goal, everybody's ultimate goal, is to obtain a CDL. But I do have a few ways that we can go about this. One, you can pay for it on your own. Use Google. Google is the ultimate, right? So you use Google, find out what schools are in your area, make it convenient for you. So you have some that are just weekends, you have some that are nights, you have some that go on for a couple of months, you have some that are it's a small, quick course. So it just kind of depends on that for yourself. That's one way. Then you have workforce solution or unemployment offices. That's what it's called here in Houston, is workforce solution. But basically your unemployment office that's getting you back to work. So they have a lot of programs when it comes to that. So if you go there, if you call, if you go on the site, you can kind of be directed on whether or not that option fits for you. So that's another way to do something like that. But then you can do it where you go through certain companies and have to do a contract. Okay, so let's talk about this. If you do not have to go through a company and do it, then don't. If you have the fund, and what I mean by that is, if you have the funds, then do it on your own. If you're able to do it through unemployment or work force or some type of get back to work or get you acclimated in another career, then do it that way. But if you have to go through a school, but go through a company, that is a good way, but no more than not, you're going to be under contract. Okay? Under contract means some contracts last 6 months, some last 9, some last 12, some last 18 months. But basically, it's a non-compete clause, which means that you can't leave that company until the contract is done without having to be still under contract. Okay, so the pros in this is, while you're paying back for your CDL and you're paying back through it basically by working for them, you are getting much needed experience. Okay, so if you're going with the company and their contract is 6 months, just think, once that contract is over and you're free to go somewhere, you are an experienced driver. If it's 9 months, if it's 12 months, if it's 18, 24 months, you are an experienced driver. During these contracts, you're not going to be paid a lot. That's not what it's designed for. Okay, it's designed so you can get your CDL, you can still make a modest amount of money. Okay, and then also you're gaining the experience. So you have some companies where you're not being paid that much, but you are under contract for 12 months. Let me tell you something. If you're under contract and you are doing OTR for 12 months, And OTR, depending on different companies, definition of it, OTR could mean that you go to 3 states, OTR could mean you go to 5 states, or OTR could mean the entire country. So it just kind of depends, but it's typically more than 1 state unless you're in Texas or in California for obvious reasons, because we look at that as 3 states, right? But anyway, you're gonna have a lot of experience, okay? You can't take away that amount of experience. It's so important when I'm talking to drivers, when they have driven and dealt with different seasons and in different regions of the United States. That's what makes you an experienced driver, okay? So if you're able to stick it out and do that contract, and I always tell people, don't get in a contract and then say, okay, I'm gonna bounce on this contract and I'm gonna go to another company and all of that. No. Because what you're gonna end up doing, 1, you're still gonna be under contract. 2, you're just gonna be starting, in most cases, starting over again. And that's not what you wanna do, okay? So that's another way. Then you have states like Texas where you don't necessarily need to go to school in order to get your CDL. Somebody can train you and more or less be like a private school, or we don't even want to say school, but like a private training type situation. And they allow you to utilize their truck to go and take your road test and all of that type of stuff. The difficulty with that one is you may not be able to go to some of your larger companies because they may not feel that it's accredited enough where they've shown you all of the ins and outs and everything. But I do know drivers that have done that has grown up in trucking and been riding the truck since they was on the farm at 12 years old, and stuff like that. So all that they need basically is to utilize somebody's truck in order to go and get their license, okay? So those are the ways. Again, let me go back to the contract part. That is an awesome way to be able to do a 2-for-1. You're getting your truck program paid for, the schooling paid for, and you're getting your experience all at the same time. Also, making sure that you're willing to stick out the length of the contract. Okay, I don't recommend you go with a company where the contract is longer than a year. Okay, so let me throw it out there like that. If you do 1 year over the road, that is significant amount of experience for most companies. Majority of the companies, mind you, I recruit for over 50. Majority of the companies look at an experienced driver at 6 months. Okay, I have some companies that's 3 months, some companies that's 6, and some companies that's 12, and of course some companies that's 24. So if you're with a company that is 12 months of OTR for your contract, you're coming out and with a great amount of experience, okay? So know that. Then I'm backtracking again, right? Because I just want to kind of summarize this. The grant programs that the unemployment or workforce solution companies or offices have, that's awesome, because that's what they're for. They're to get people back to work, okay? So if during this 2020 time and we know everything that's going on and some of the industries with different things are shutting down, well, guess what? If trucking is the best thing since sliced bread, okay? If it ain't coming on the truck, you ain't using it in your house. I don't care if the product comes from a ship, it comes from a plane, or it comes from a train. The way it's delivered in your stores and on your table or whatever is going to have to come on a truck. Okay, I don't care if we're talking about an 18-wheeler, a box truck, a tractor-trailer dump, a smaller dump. Trucking is important, okay? So there are opportunities for you to go back and get all of that through grant programs with the unemployment or workforce solutions and stuff like that. Then you have self-pay. That's the first one that I talked about, where if you have the opportunity and have the funds to do that, then you go ahead and do that. And there are plenty of schools out there, so you find out which one works for you, whether or not you still be able to stay at your job that you're at now and do it on the weekends, evenings, if you're able to do it during the day, if you're able to do it in a couple of weeks, if you needed to do it in a couple of months. Okay, so I'm not a fan of one more than the other. Again, it's what works for you and what works for your family. And when you call me for to help you find a job and stuff like that, that's what I'm concerned with. Okay, what works for you? Because the same job is not going to work that works for you. It's not going to work for Bobby. The same type of schooling or the route that you go to do the school is not going to be the same. So basically, those are my few ideas as far as you going back and getting your license. Let me know if you have any questions. My telephone number again is 708-487-9064. 708-487-9064. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day.